ESPN's lead NFL insider Adam Schefter released an article earlier this week that outlined a ton of names that are on the NFL trade block just 3 weeks away from the trade deadline. I'm going to tell you the Packers that may or may not be on that list, and then I'm going to tell you those trade candidates on that list that I think the Green Bay Packers should at least call on. Before that, though, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. If you look at the season-long sub battle, things are heating up against Bears now, and we've, shortened the gap to just 24 subscribers. That's all we are down. I need you guys to help me out. Hit that subscribe button. Daily coverage. Your Green Bay Packers. The best part is, it's all 100% free. So like I mentioned earlier, the NFL trade deadline, in my opinion, when you get into the season, this is the most exciting time of the year because we got 3 weeks until it, Tuesday, November 4th, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and this is when things start happening, right? Every single year over the last couple of seasons, it seems like there's moves after moves after moves that have been made, and maybe Green Bay is one of the teams that takes part in them this season. So the first thing I noticed coming out of Adam Schefter's article that I mentioned he released, no Packers named. Not a single one is named as a source, that he's gotten from a source that could be a possible traded player for Green Bay. Off the trade block, in my opinion, that means is Romeo Doubs and Dontayvion Wicks. Now, they were never officially on the trade block, but I had talked about them multiple times as being names to watch out for just because of how deep this Green Bay Packers wide receiver room truly was. I mean, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Dontayvion Wicks. Like, that room is really, really impressive. And I get it, Jaden Reed's hurt. Christian Watson's going to come back anytime now, but I think you understand what I'm saying. The trade rumors have been circling those guys for the past few months, really since the offseason, really since the summer, and now it feels like they might finally be safe. And I think for Green Bay's sake, that might be the best thing to happen. If you look at their numbers this year, really, really impressive seasons for both of them, especially for Romeo Doubs with 234 yards, 46 yards a game, 4 touchdowns. Of course, he had that 3-touchdown game against the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. And, it doesn't upset me one bit. And I know that's probably contrary to popular belief because I've talked about 1 or 2 of those guys being traded a decent amount of time since we started this channel, but I was never talking about them traded and saying, I need this to happen. I'm desperate to get those guys off this team. I was just coming at it in the vein of, this is a possibility. This is a situation that we need to monitor. But if you've got good weapons, and if you feel like your quarterback has a great connection with said weapons, then keep them. Especially because something that happened to Jaden Reed can happen to anybody at any point in any game, and then all of a sudden, where are your good weapons? They're on the bench. They're on injured reserve. If you would have dealt Romeo Doubs or Dontayvion Wicks at some point in the offseason, you don't have Jaden Reed, you don't have Christian Watson right now, things might be looking a little bit bleak. With that said, though, if I'm talking to Brian Gutekunst and I'm looking at a man-to-man straight in the face, I would tell him, make sure that the phone isn't on silent. Because there could be a team or two that over the next couple of weeks, if they feel like they are a competing and contending team for a playoff spot, might want to give you a call to see what's going on with your wide receiver situation. Pittsburgh, New York, Buffalo, Arizona, San Francisco, New England, all 6 of these teams. If they win a couple of games over the next couple of weeks, I could see them legitimately believing they are one good receiver away from really competing for a Super Bowl, from really being able to do something, especially when you look at the Bills and the Steelers, who we've talked about a ton. So Brian Gutekunst, although I don't think it's going to happen, make sure you got that phone ringer on. Drop a name for me down below in the comment section. Name a Packer that you think is on the trade block. Apparently from sources with Adam Schefter, he doesn't think any Packers are on the trade block, but you might think one is. Let me know who that is. Coming up next, we're going to talk some trade targets listed that Green Bay, in my opinion, should keep their eye on. However, one thing you should keep your eye on is our great sponsor, my favorite sponsor, back on today's video. That is our great friends at Underdog. Football season is in full swing, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. Let's cut to the chase. If you download the app today and sign up with promo code Packers Report, you score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, receptions, touchdowns, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. Here are my Underdog picks for Thursday Night Football. We got Steelers, Bengals. Give me the lower on Chase Brown rush yards, 45.5. Give me the higher on DK Metcalf, 56.5 receiving yards. And give me the lower on Darnell Washington, 19.5 receiving yards. If you thought football was fun, if you thought watching football was fun before, if you do it, having a little fun on our friends on Underdog, well, you'll just see how exciting it truly can be. So download the app today, sign up with promo code Packers Report, score $100 in bonus funds or entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code Packers Report. Underdog, make picks, win money. Must be 18 or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or older in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer now valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. So Adam Schefter listed 33 players across the National Football League that he would say are on the trade block, that he has heard from sources around the league that their respective teams would be willing to trade away these players. And let's start with a familiar name when it comes to Green Bay trade targets. Let's talk Riq Woolen, cornerback for the Seattle Seahawks. This is a guy, like I said, we have talked about before because we got the report from Tom Pelissero a couple of weeks ago that Riq Woolen would be able to be on that trade block, right? As possible trade target by the deadline because Devon Witherspoon came back and he was healthy. Ian Rappaport said Woolen's playing time has diminished, and in a contract year, teams believe he could be available. Now, there are inside sources that believe that it was Seattle, and namely John Schneider, their general manager, that leaked the report to Ian Rappaport. All that to be said, I would be absolutely shocked if Riq Woolen is not playing for another team over the next couple of weeks. And with Green Bay's deficiency in the secondary over the last couple of games, I think it's worth at least getting on the phone and giving a call. Because I think everything else with this team, in my opinion, looks really, really good right now. I would just like a little bit more depth in the cornerback room. Up next, another cornerback. One we haven't talked about yet, but one that Adam Schefter listed is Mr. Roger McCreary with the Tennessee Titans. We know that the Tennessee Titans are going to be sellers at the deadline. We know that the Tennessee Titans pretty much are always going to be sellers because that's pretty much the state of their team. 5'11", 190 pounds, 24 tackles in 2025, an interception, 2 pass breakups. His PFF grades are really, really impressive. And I know it's not gospel. It's not the end-all, be-all. It's a good metric, though, to look at and talk about. His overall grade, 70.8. Coverage grade, 73.6. Both of those are top 31 metrics when you look at 168 cornerbacks across the league. Like I said, he's got an interception. He's only allowed 19 receptions in 6 games. That is 19th best, or excuse me, 9th best in the National Football League. And if I'm looking at those two options, looking at those two cornerbacks, I personally would rather have McCreary over Woolen. And there's multiple reasons for that. He's cheaper and he's younger, okay? And Riq Woolen's in a contract year, so if you do trade for him, you would then have to pay him, and you'd have to pay him a lot more than you'd have to pay Roger McCreary, just given everything that he's done in his career in the National Football League. Very, very interested in the cornerback for the Tennessee Titans. Up last, let's talk offensive line. How about Joey Bitonio, guard for the Cleveland Browns, a guy who has sneakily been one of their best players offensively, 73.9 overall grade, 7th best among 109 guards. Pass blocking grade is good. Run blocking grade is even better, top 15, and he's very, very cheap. It would only cost you about $812,000 for the rest of the season. He's on a one-year deal. He's older. He's not on a one-year deal. He's on the final year of his deal, which is around $1.5 million base salary. He's 34 years old. It feels like he'd probably be a one-year rental, but if you believe that this is the team to compete for a national championship, why wouldn't you do that? Okay? Sean Rhyan, flat out, plain and simple, has not been good this season. He's been the exact opposite of good this season. Seems like everybody else on that offensive line, I've got some sort of faith in. Everybody else, we're just waiting to get healthy. Sean Rhyan, we're just waiting to see him get replaced. Who would you rather trade for out of those three? Pick one for me. Riq Woolen, Roger McCreary, or Joel Bitonio. Give me an RW, RM, or JB in the chat down below. I don't know what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks. I don't know how interested the Green Bay Packers are going to be in reaching out and trading for somebody. But if they are interested, those are the three guys I'd like them to at least call on. There's some bigger names. I don't think that's as realistic given what the Green Bay Packers did this offseason with Micah Parsons. I feel like they're going to make one move, maybe two, but probably just one, to kind of tie up some loose ends around the team. That's going to do it. Make sure you got me followed on social media. Make sure you got subscribed right here on the channel. Daily Packers updates, all 100% free. The Packers Report.